Chapter 31 The Pokémon You Want, Laluras is Forever. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That's it meow, that's fine, but meow meow, I don't have that much money, meow meow. Boil daegu into soup, I can buy it myself and convert it into an equivalent amount of gold, right? That's it meow, yes, meow, although the world is different, gold is still very precious meow. Be my son, ku la la la. The old man should also participate. Be my son, I am also very interested in Pokémon, a guy with strength, character, and potential all in one. Dongfang booby, this seat is not short of money. Worst elf, if it's just money, it's easy to get. Child of nature, me too. Ordinary group leader, yes, no one in the chat group is short of money, right? Guilty.jpg that's it meow, well, what do you want? Boil daegu into soup, I want catty dog. Carty dogs are also weird, but more like normal pets than other Pokémon, although his world is not ordinary, it is a world full of monsters, but for the time being, Carty dog is more suitable. Worst elf, Pikachu.jpg the most evil elf, after all, it is the first elf that the protagonist meets, and it is really cute. Dongfang invincible. Is this the Pokémon you are talking about? It is really cute. Dongfang booby, then I want Pikachu too. Be my son, ku la la la, the old man doesn't care about the type, just armored rhinoceros and Howley are fine. That's it, meow, what a strange hobby, meow. That's it meow, meow meow, I wrote it down, how about you meow, Uchiha Dance King. Uchiha Dance King, do you think I need to buy it? He's dead already, even if he wanted to buy it, he couldn't receive it. Was it alive before it was sent in, died after sending it over? Golden Flash, ha, if I say it, Carty Dog will do it, and it will also help protect Naruto when the time comes. Ninja dogs also exist in the ninja world, and Katie's words will not be abrupt, other elves can, but they will inevitably be curious. Ordinary group leader, my words, as expected. Child of nature, Laluras, ordinary group leader. Ordinary group leader, are you stealing my words? Child of nature, no, I'm just talking about the Pokémon I want. Child of nature, no one can refuse a Pokémon, let alone Laluras. Ordinary group leader, Laluras, always be a god. Ordinary group leader, by the way, I want female ones. Son of nature, add one. That's it, meow, let's say it first, it may not be there, meow. That's it meow, especially Laluras, very precious meow. Child of nature, I know. Ordinary group leader, understood. Before I knew it, it had been a week since I joined the Reiki bureau and moved into the villa. The classmates in the class also contacted by Xian and asked him how to reasonably not go to school on the premise of ensuring graduation or even entering a university, and the answer he gave was also very clear, either to be specially recruited, or to join the official. The former, they are naturally impossible, the latter, the ability they awakened has not reached the standard, therefore, the fantasy is very full, and the reality is very skinny. They can only look at the empty seats belonging to Bai Xian in the classroom, and imagine that one day they can be so chic. As for Bai Xian, he didn't feel that his life this week was easier than at school, he just spent his study time on cultivation, and he was even more tired because he found the correct way of cultivation. He and Huiyu controlled the oxygen when they showed their abilities before, so it suddenly occurred to him that gravity is also one of the forces in nature that he has mastered. He can completely bless gravity on his body to increase the intensity of training. After trying it out, it works really well. The exercise that I had been accustomed to and even did not feel tired returned to the initial fatigue and fatigue. Although it was hard work, the effect was very good. His physique and abilities are increasing faster than before, and the power of natural authority he can display is even more terrifying. Ability aside, because of the particularity of natural authority, it is difficult to use accurate data to judge how strong he is under the addition of abilities. Relatively speaking, physique is very easy to judge, just like now. Bai Xian played with the Type 92 pistol in his hand, and then fired a shot at his palm. Boom, Amidst the loud gunshots, a bullet was about to pierce through his palm with the momentum of thunder, but in the next second, Bai Xian easily held the fired bullet in his hand, with the palm open. Bai Ziruyu didn't get hurt at all. You must know that Bai Xian did not use any ability of natural authority, and only relied on pure physique to resist the damage of guns. The meaning of this is completely different. One can imagine how strong his current physique is, although the 92 type pistol is not very powerful among all pistols, it is only relatively speaking. No matter how powerful a firearm is, it cannot be resisted by the human body. What's more, Bai Xian has no way to try a more powerful pistol. What, Desert Eagle, M500 revolver, Glock 17 pistol. He also wants to try these pistols known as the most powerful in the world, but he can only think about it, and Fire Feather will not give it to him. So is it my current physique that can resist firearms, or was it able to resist a week ago or even earlier? Just haven't tried. Do you want to try a tank? It doesn't feel impossible. He muttered the thought of dying, and now he really wanted to know the limit of his physical strength, but there was no way. But at this moment, Bai Xian's eyes wrinkled, feeling a burst of malice. Following this malicious gaze, a man with a strong body was looking at him gloomily. Even if he noticed his gaze, he didn't care at all. Conceal their malice. A new member of the Reiki Bureau? Or someone from another official department? Bai Xian raised his eyebrows, and there was a hint of interest in his eyes. He has seen Su Yunqing and Yishuru before, and the man just now does not belong to any of them. Either it is a new member of the Reiki Bureau invited by Huiyu, or it is an official person who is familiar with Huiyu, but maliciousness without reason is really annoying. On the other side, Li Feng looked at Bai Xian's direction with a deep expression, with jealousy in his eyes. Besides superior looks, there are no advantages at all. I really don't know why Huiyu likes this kid. End of this chapter. Chapter 32. Times are changing, Superman or Motherland is only one thought. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 32. Times are changing, Superman is still a native of the motherland. He and Huiyu were friends in the same department before, and after awakening their abilities, they also showed good talent. Although they are not as strong as Huiyu and can even serve as the head of the branch of the Reiki Bureau in an important city, they still hold important positions. He also knew the members of the Hangzhou Reiki Bureau, whether it's Qinchang, Suyu, or Yishuru. Huiyu's emotions are relatively ordinary, just admiring the abilities of the three alone, but only this guy, Huiyu's emotions are very weird. Doubt, curiosity, and even worship, but no matter what their emotions are, they can see that Huiyu's attitude towards Bai Xian is very unusual. Even those who have nothing to do during this week will come to Bai Xian, asking him if he is dissatisfied with the current treatment, what needs he has, and his tone is full of concern for Bai Xian. I'm afraid he has a little dissatisfaction, but this guy actually dislikes Huiyu's troubles, and told her not to bother him except when necessary. With this attitude, do you regard Huiyu as a licking dog, asshole? Thinking of this, Li Feng's face was full of envy, anger, and unwillingness. How much he wished that Huiyu could treat him like this, then he would never let Huiyu pay by himself. This time I came here to see what is in Bai Xian that is worthy of Huiyu's achievement, but now it seems that there are no other advantages besides appearance, although Bai Xian can vaguely detect what people think, but most of the time it is the perception of emotions. If he knew what Li Feng was thinking now, he might roll his eyes. What era is it? How can there be envy, jealousy, and hatred because of women? Also, why did you know so clearly when Huiyu came to take care of him? Are you sure? You're not peeking behind your back. Or was Huiyu himself sharing it? So, you want to test my strength and see if I am qualified to enter the Lingqi Bureau and enjoy this treatment? Bai Xian nodded. He was able to make sure that the other party didn't come to him because of this, and the so-called test was just an excuse. As for what it is for, it must be because of the fire feather. After all, he has never been in contact with anyone other than Huiyu in the official website. Regarding this, Bai Xian was also a little speechless. What is this? The roots of troubles? But nothing happened between him and Huiyu. Why did he focus on him? Or was it because he was a man? But Qinchang is also a man. Wait, he has already been taught a lesson, right? Li Feng didn't know what Bai Xian was thinking, he just said lightly. I will do my best in this test, and I hope you can show the strength that meets your treatment. If your strength does not meet the standard, I will apply to cancel all the benefits you are enjoying now, and become the most ordinary member of the Reiki Bureau. Ah! The corners of Bai Xian's mouth turned up slightly. He didn't know what words to use to describe Li Feng's attitude, but one thing was beyond doubt. It's kind of annoying, really. This tone. What? Li Feng frowned, he didn't know what Bai Xian was talking about. Without the support of strength, the weak should not use this tone. Senior, Bai Xian raised his head and said with a light smile. Boom! In an instant, Li Feng's complexion changed drastically, and his whole body felt the crazily pressure of an unimaginable force. Boom! Crack! Without the slightest pause, under the influence of this force, the body instantly knelt down on the ground, accompanied by a loud noise, the sound of bones breaking directly, and severe pain swept through the whole body. Bai Xian walked up to him slowly, looked down at Li Feng, smiled and said. Now is the time for the mighty power to belong to itself, senior. With great power, we often don't like to listen to hard words, and we hate others talking to us condescendingly. Naturally it didn't matter in the past. Although your tone was extremely blunt and official, we had no right to do anything to you, but now, times have changed. Compared to saving others, more people will choose to become a Superman who still puts himself in the position of an ordinary person. And what determines their future is the way you speak. Have you seen it now, my strength? Is it enough to pass the test, that just like Uchiha Madara was taught by the shadow of a ninja village, and Whitebeard was taught by a member of a certain pirate group, even if there is nothing wrong with their words, is that enough? Before speaking, they should correct their attitude. If you want to teach Uchiha Madara a lesson, then you must be Senju Hashirama. Want to communicate with Whitebeard on an equal footing, you have to be at least as strong as Shanks, otherwise, before speaking, put yourself in the attitude of a weak person. Times are changing, and the next is the era of Reiki recovery. When someone possesses enough power to override the country, the law is just a piece of paper in his eyes. One of the purposes of the establishment of the Reiki Bureau in the country is that some people have such a mentality. If it is a normal spiritual recovery, then naturally there is no problem. Even if there is more than one genius at the exceptional level, they can restrain each other and the country has enough time to cultivate their own geniuses, and with the help of the state, their strength will definitely increase faster than other supernatural beings. At that time, even if they have some privileges, they will abide by the laws of the country. But the problem now is Bai Xian. He already has the ability to ignore everything, and has natural authority, who is favored by the world consciousness, and he will always have this ability in the future. Neither humans nor mutated creatures have the ability to fight against him. Can he really think of himself as an ordinary person? Remember to correct your attitude next time. I am a person who prefers to listen to compliments. Or, you can also go to Huiyu or even higher level people to complain to me. I don't care about these. I'm even looking forward to it. People, sometimes unexpected thoughts will appear, and he also really wants to know how the country will deal with him under the other party's complaint. Afterwards, Bai Xian made a phone call and asked someone to take him away. Interestingly, Huiyu also came with them. Then I saw Li Feng kneeling on the ground. Huiyu is not an idiot, and she almost knew what happened when she saw Li Feng. The look in Li Feng's eyes was also speechless. A beauty is a disaster. What a sinful woman I am. Huiyu watched Li Feng being carried away by a group of people, then touched his soft and delicate face, and said narcissistically, "End of this chapter." Chapter 33 Glory of the Northern God. It may be different from what you think. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bai Xian looked at Huiyu speechlessly. She thought the other party would say something. Do you want to be so narcissistic? What are you looking at? Do you have any questions about my appearance? Huiyu narrowed his eyes, and there was a bit of unkindness on his face. Not at all. Bai Xian shrugged. Huiyu is indeed good-looking, there is no doubt about it. It's not wrong to say that it's a beauty. TCH, you, a high school student, don't understand the charm of women at all. Hui Yu first snorted dissatisfied, and then said curiously. What did this guy say? Take action against you for the purpose of testing your strength? But it seems that you defeated me before I even made a move. The shoulders and legs are seriously damaged. That's about right. Bai Xian didn't deny it, but said lightly. I hope next time he can restrain his malice and that disgusting tone. Well, please be considerate, there are such fools everywhere. Hui Yu spread her hands and said, she can roughly understand the meaning of Bai Xian's words, but this is something that can't be helped. The recovery of spiritual energy has just begun. You hope that they will adapt to this era so quickly. It is impossible to change the way of speaking in the past, the country has also considered this aspect. After all, their times are changing, and things that do not conform to the times will suffer serious consequences, as it was with the Industrial Revolution in the past, so it is with the Reiki recovery now. Therefore, all aspects must be considered by the country. Language is an aspect that they focus on. They don't want the powerful people in their own country to do irrational things in a fit of anger because of some people's remarks on the internet, or even leave the country. Everyone must be in awe of the strong. Hui Yu didn't communicate with Bai Xian for long. After all, she is the director of Hangzhou Lingqi Bureau, and there are many things that need her to deal with. This time, she came here because she regarded Bai Xian as a key concern. When Bai Xian called and asked a special person to handle it, the other party also sent her the information, so she followed him. Still the same sentence, with Bai Xian's current talent and ability, unless he is doing something that endangers the country and the people, he can do whatever he wants, unless someone can prove that Bai Xian's ability is not as powerful as they thought, let alone the ability to control oxygen. And it has nothing to do with the concept of nature. However, what happened to Li Feng this time will probably increase their trust in Bai Xian's ability. Ding, group members, glory of the northern gods, join the chat group. Ding, group member, the richest man in the lighthouse, join the chat group. The mechanically cold voice of the chat group rang in Bai Xian's ear, and Bai Xian was stunned for a moment, then smiled, walked to the rocking chair placed in front of the villa, closed his eyes and entered the chat group. Ordinary group leader, a newcomer here. Ordinary group leader, and two at a time. Ordinary group owner, welcome, welcome. Ordinary group leader, newcomers, please introduce yourself. The worst elf, welcome newcomers. This is a superdimensional chat group that can communicate with the heavens and worlds. We are also people from other worlds. If you have doubts about this, you can recall the information in your brain. It has been I told you everything. Be my son, Ku la la la, here comes a newcomer after Dongfang Invincible. Uchiha Dance King, one of the group names is interesting. Uchiha Dance King, God, boil daegu into soup, welcome newcomers. By the way, what is the god of the north? Is it the god of the north? Boil daegu into soup. However, it is amazing to be able to become the glory of all the northern gods. Boil daegu into soup, the rookie should be very strong, right? That's it. Meow, the richest man in the lighthouse. Although I don't know where the lighthouse is, Meow Meow smells money. Golden Flash, welcome newcomers. Seeing that you all posted so much later, I suddenly feel that welcoming newcomers alone is very monotonous. Dongfang Booby, so what should I post at this time? Child of nature, welcome and language should be enough, probably. Ordinary group owner, don't be shy, come out and introduce yourself. Ordinary group leader, there are good people in the group. Uchiha Dance King. Although he doesn't think he is a villain, but seeing others call him a good person, why is he so uncomfortable? Boil daegu into soup, the newcomers seem to be very vigilant. Boil daegu into soup, it's been so long without talking. Worst elf, for unknown things, it is normal to be vigilant. Dongfang Invincible, it may also be thinking about the way to use it. Ordinary group leader, Sister Dongfang, why did you speak in the chat group so quickly? Dongfang Invincible, my heart is moved. Ordinary group leader, I don't understand. Son of nature, there seems to be a voice in the dark telling her how to operate. Son of nature, I met someone in a dream with you. I can't see the other person's appearance at all, but I can know the other person's identity. Ordinary group leader, I see, this explanation is clear to me. Ordinary group leader, by the way, the names of these two people are a bit hard to guess. The glory of the northern god is a bit familiar. Is it Thor? In her impression, Thor is the one who fits this name, but she doesn't know if it is the Thor in the Nordic mythology, the Thor in Marvel, or the Thor from some other world. Ordinary group leader, and the richest man in the lighthouse, such a general name. Ordinary group leader, would it be someone from the ordinary world who is the richest man in lighthouse country, son of nature? Are you not sure about the identity of the northern god of glory, son of nature? Have you never watched Shirlang? By Xian was a little surprised. He really didn't expect that Su Yunqing didn't see the identity of the glory of the god of the north, although he guessed it was Thor, the god of thunder, and his identity also fits, but if Su Yunqing had seen Shirlang, his tone would definitely not be so unsteady. Of ordinary group leader, 10 cold. What is 10 cold? 100,000 cold jokes. Ordinary group leader, I've heard of this, and someone recommended it for me to watch, but at that time I was watching Life in a Different World from Zero, so I didn't watch it, and I forgot about it later. Ordinary group leader, is the newcomer from the 10 cold world? Is it a god from Nordic mythology? Child of nature, I'm not sure, but the name should be Son of Nature. It's also true Norse mythology, and even Thor, but maybe a little different than you think. End of this chapter. Chapter 34. Su Yunqing. I admit that I just said that Zhang's voice was a little louder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 34. Su Yunqing. I admit that I just spoke a little louder. If you haven't watched Tenleng, no one would have thought that glory of the northern god and Thor in this anime would be a Shiba Inu. Son of nature, of course, its strength is unquestionable, and it can be called a big boss. After all, cold jokes are funny, and there is only a dead end in comparison with funny jokes, especially for the river god among them. The sentence galaxy also directly touches the concept itself with its power. How does this kind of existence compare? Ordinary group leader, boss. Who can join the chat group is not a big boss. Ordinary group leader, I am Ninja Shura, the ancestor of the Uchiha clan, and the Uchiha Madara who is at the peak of the 6 realms is not a big boss. Ordinary group leader, I am the strongest man in the world. Isn't the white beard of the 4 emperors who competes with One Piece a big boss? Ordinary group leader, I am Golden, the fastest man in the ninja world. I turned the tide of the war by myself. Isn't Namikaze Minato, the fastest 4th-generation Hokage in history, a big boss? Ordinary group leader, I'm the worst elf. I have the Emperor Kiki who masters time, and Tokisaki Kurumi who can steal life and travel through time is not a big boss. Ordinary group leader, I am the giant of light, the human body Daegu of Tiga, the strongest dark giant in ancient times, and I am not a big boss. Ordinary group leader, I am Dongfang invincible, and I learned from Dugu Chobai. Isn't the leader of the Sun-Moon God sect in Himuya a big boss? Ordinary group leader, with all due respect, the most important thing in this chat group is a boss. Su Yunqing won one game after another, and his aura reached its peak in an instant. Son of nature, it's a character from a funny anime. Ordinary group leader, Ordinary group leader, ahem. Ordinary group leader, I admit that my voice was a little louder when I spoke just now. Ordinary group leader, pretend I didn't say it. Worst elf. That's it, meow. Uchiha Dance King. Boil Daegu into soup. Can you stop pretending next time? It's embarrassing. And it's not just you who are embarrassing, but those of us who you mentioned are also embarrassing. Ordinary group owner, be considerate. Vegeta said not to compete with funny anime people. Ordinary group owner, you are just unreasonable occasionally, but they are unreasonable all the time. Su Yunqing also had no choice. From Pleasant Goat and Big Wolf to Bear Haunted, the funny anime she had watched never made sense to her. There are also foreign funny cartoons, too. Cats and mice are fine, the Duppy dog of Drooby is the real dog. What did you say? Don't blame the uneven road if people can't do it, it's really unreasonable. Uchiha Dance King, is there a copy of his memory? that he was really curious about each other's strength after being told by the two of them, "Be my son, ku la la la." The old man is also very curious about this. Be my son, the two traversers are recognized as strong and unreasonable strong men. Ding, group member by Xian uploaded a memory copy, part. Son of nature, I uploaded a part of it, you guys watch it first. Son of nature, I'll post the full version later. After a long time, everyone who watched the video had complicated emotions, they wanted to say something, but they didn't know how to say it for a while. In the end, Su Yunqing couldn't hold back and laughed in the group. Ordinary group leader, ha 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 ha. Ordinary group leader, what's all this? Why is Thor in it a Shiba Inu? Ordinary group leader, forget about the Shiba Inu, its father ha ha ha, his father is actually called Hangcheng, ha 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 ha. Ordinary group leader, no, I'm laughing to death. Boil Daegu into soup, shouldn't Thor's father be called Odin? Boil Daegu into soup, and why is there a spaceship in it? Is there something wrong here? Dongfang booby, Thor. Dog, is this the style of funny anime? It is indeed different from the Hokage and pirates she watched during this time. Pirates have their funny parts too, but it's completely different from this one. What did you say? Unreasonable. Well, it really doesn't make sense. How can a man give birth to a dog? Not even a god. That is to say, this is Odin. If Dongfang Bai had seen the Olympics and knew what Zeus was like, she would not have such an idea. For Zeus, a god with the aesthetics of all things, reproductive isolation does not exist at all, whether it's cows, horses, or other creatures. Zeus can clearly see their beauty. Dog, that's not to mention, the most evil elf. But the most unreasonable one should be the river god. Worst elf. The Milky Way is also a river. Gold, silver, the worst elf. This is simply touching the power of concepts. Although the river god didn't show any fighting power during the whole process, it was this sentence that Inha is also he directly raised his style very high, okay? Is it within your control as long as there is the word river? Ordinary group leader, it's okay, it's a joke after all. Ordinary group leader, speaking of which, why hasn't it spoken yet? The glory of the North God, I am Thor, the god of thunder, for the glory of the North God, the glory of the North God, I am Thor, the god of thunder, for the glory of the North God, the glory of the North God, I am Thor, the god of thunder, for the glory of the North God, the glory of the god of the North, I am. Ordinary group leader, shut up, you Shiba Inu, this is a chat group, not reality, you can talk. Glory of the Northern Gods, wow woof woof. Glory of the Northern God, wow woof woof. Glory of the God of the North, I can talk. I can talk. Glory of the Northern God, wow woof woof. The richest man in the lighthouse. The richest man in the lighthouse, shut up, you dog, do you know what you are doing? The richest man in the lighthouse. What do you bark when a scientist is working hard to study biology? The richest man in the lighthouse. What are you barking at? The richest man in the lighthouse, fact, the second newcomer finally spoke under the stimulation of Shiba Inu Thor, although his speech seemed very angry and strange. Boil Daegu into soup, there seems to be something wrong. Child of nature, knowledge of biology. Ordinary group leader, is he doing that? Worst elf, maybe. For a moment, as if they had guessed something, they couldn't help but fell silent. That's it meow, which meow is that? That's it meow, why don't you talk anymore meow? Meow meow asked in the group curiously, it didn't know what the human was talking about. End of this chapter. Chapter 35 Pepper and Hulk, you are wrong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ordinary group leader, ahem. Ordinary group leader, this is not something that a child like you can know. That's it meow, meow meow, that's it meow, meow meow has grown up meow. Meow meow's face is full of confusion, it is obviously an adult, human beings are really troublesome. Meow, the richest man in the lighthouse, fact, the richest man in the lighthouse, the good fun was interrupted. It was because of the dog barking, the richest man in the lighthouse. What are you barking in my head? What are you barking like a dog? The richest man in the lighthouse, you didn't see the way that woman looked at me. This is the shame of my life. Ordinary group leader, Puff ha 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 ha. Ordinary group owner, I'm sorry, I'm professionally trained, and I would never laugh under normal circumstances. Ordinary group leader, I really couldn't hold back this time. Ordinary group leader, although what you said is pitiful, I just can't help laughing. In Su Yunqing's description of the richest man in the lighthouse, the appearance of being despised directly appeared in Su Yunqing's mind, and then he couldn't help laughing out loud, the richest man in the lighthouse. The richest man in the lighthouse, okay, let's calm down. The richest man in the lighthouse, so what is this thing that appears in my brain? According to the information it sends in, it is the so-called chat group that communicates with the heavens and the world, the richest man in the lighthouse, you are also people from other worlds. The richest man in the lighthouse, do you think I will believe this kind of information when I am a 3-year-old child, the richest man in the lighthouse? I admit that this technology is indeed interesting. Even if I want to achieve this level, it will take some time, but it does not mean that I cannot do it. The richest man in the lighthouse, and what is that thing in the background? Some well-made animations, the richest man in the lighthouse, you won't tell me that you are the characters in those anime? That really surprised me. The richest man in the lighthouse, no one will believe this kind of thing except some fools who want to get rich and become a master. Boil daegu into soup, I was insulted. The East is undefeated. The worst elf, questions are the norm. Generally speaking, as long as the group leader sends out a copy of the memory of his world, he will believe it. Tokisaki Kurumi had the same idea when she first joined the group. After all, the world she lives in is also extremely technologically advanced. It may not be impossible to achieve this level. No more, I also know that I am just a character in a certain anime world, but what about anime? Perhaps her past actions and thoughts were controlled by the author, but at least now after she reads the memory copy of her own world, all her actions are no longer under the control of the other party, and it is also contrary to the original future of this world, what is true what is false again. The world she lives in is virtual, so is the world you live in necessarily real? Not always, so your own thoughts are the most important. Ordinary group leader, this guy is a bit arrogant. Ordinary group leader, have you guessed his identity? Son of nature, it's about the same. After all, is he the richest man in the lighthouse, and the first time he joined the group was on the bed, very flirtatious. Son of nature, Iron Man. Son of nature, it's still an early Iron Man. Son of nature, of course, it could be someone else. After all, there are quite a few film and television works on Lighthouse, but I only watch few of them. Ordinary group leader, I also think he is a big shit, but I'm not sure. After all, Batman is also the richest man in the lighthouse in anime. Ordinary group leader, but if it's Batman, you should be more cautious when speaking. The richest man in the lighthouse, remind me, I'm Stark, not a big shit. The richest man in the lighthouse, you bastard, read my name carefully. The richest man in the lighthouse, if you want to prove that this thing is real, please send some more convincing evidence. The richest man in the lighthouse, for example, my future or something, it is impossible that I am also from a certain animation world, right? Tony had no doubts about his own authenticity, and he didn't think he was a character written by some writer, after all, who could have created such a handsome, humorous and talented man. Ding, the group member, Son of Nature, uploaded a memory copy. Ding, the group owner, the ordinary group owner, uploaded a memory copy. Ordinary group owner, hey, you uploaded it too. Ordinary group owner, what did you upload? Son of Nature, forging iron in the cave, after all, this is the place where the plot begins. Child of Nature, didn't you upload this? Ordinary group owner, I uploaded a clip of Pepper and the Hulk kissing. Son of Nature. Son of Nature, you are not right. Naturally, Bai Xian knew what Su Yunqing was talking about. It was the scene of Pepper and Hulk actors in another movie, and it had nothing to do with Iron Man. In the previous life, the scene where someone beat Iron Man violently against Hulk had nothing to do with this scene. Together, it also confuses many people who haven't seen it, thinking that Tony was green. He really didn't expect Su Yunqing to post this content. Ordinary group owner, who made him so arrogant, insisting that the chat group is fake. Ordinary group leader, wouldn't it be embarrassing for me to be the group leader if I don't show him something disturbing? Ordinary group leader, Kimbo.jpg. The richest man in the lighthouse, what is this? The richest man in the lighthouse, how can I, the richest man in the lighthouse, forge iron in a cave? The richest man in the lighthouse, and what the hell is that part behind? Who is that man next to Pepper? The richest man in the lighthouse, fake. I'm going to kill him. If the previous clip of by Schwanfa just made Tony Stark a little suspicious, guessing whether it was a virtual clip, the latter content made him unable to keep calm. He understood his feelings for Pepper, but he didn't confess for some reason. But that doesn't mean he can accept Pepper and other men's flirting. Seeing this kind of scene, he really wanted to kill that man with one shot. But after venting a bit, Tony managed to regain his composure, and said in the chat group, the richest man in the lighthouse, I admit that I spoke a little louder just now, and I am deeply sorry for that. The richest man in the lighthouse, so, can anyone tell me whether the latter part is true or false? End of this chapter. Chapter 36 Comparing Gods with Human Bodies, you are far greater than you think. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Well, now he can't keep calm at all. The video of Little Pepper and that man kissing has always remained in his mind. The more he doesn't want to think about it, the clearer it becomes. How can he calm down in this situation? Someone has to tell him it's fake. Ordinary group leader, of course it's true. Can this group leader still send you fake videos? Ordinary group leader, in the future, you will marry and have children with Pepper, but because of a crisis that concerns the entire universe, you sacrificed yourself to save everyone. So Pepper is single again, and the man next to you is your future teammates. Ordinary group leader, after you sacrificed to help you take care of Pepper, feelings developed over time, so, you understand. Ordinary group leader, Sirius.jpg. Son of nature. The richest man in the lighthouse, I died. Then my teammates greened me. The richest man in the lighthouse, are you kidding me? It's also about the crisis of the entire universe. The richest man in the lighthouse, do you know how small the Earth is in the universe? What's the use of me as a person on Earth in the crisis of the whole universe? The richest man in the lighthouse, and how could I sacrifice myself for others? Stop joking. Son of nature, no, only these group leaders didn't lie to you. Son of nature, in the future, you did sacrifice yourself to save the entire universe. Even before that, you entered the universe with a nuclear bomb in your hands and narrowly escaped death. Son of nature, you could have stayed out of the incident and lived your own life with Pepper, but you chose to participate in it in the end. Son of nature, this is you Iron Man Tony Stark, the man who stands against the gods. Child of nature, you are far greater than you think. Tony Stark fell into silence. Although he still didn't want to believe what the other party said, but with such a serious tone, the other party didn't seem to be lying. Will I really sacrifice myself to save others in the future? But is it a crisis about the entire universe? What a danger that must be. With the technological level of the Earth, even including myself, it is impossible to be qualified to participate in this battle, right? And many more. Tony suddenly thought of something. If according to what they say, I am a character in a certain animation or film and television work, then there is no need to think about a lot of logic. Because I am the protagonist, this war is related to me. Because I am on the Earth, this war involves the Earth. Because this world is a work, there will be dangers related to the entire universe. In this case, it seems to make sense, but why the hell is it even more difficult to accept? The richest man in the lighthouse, what about you? Isn't it difficult to accept that you are a character in a certain work? Uchiha Dance King, only those who are weak-minded will find it difficult to accept this. Be my son, ku la la la, what about the work? I am very satisfied with my current life. The worst elf, after joining the chat group, is this question really important? After knowing the future, will you go to the future as it is without making any changes? Son of nature, is the question you asked just now included in the settings of the original author? Boil Daegu into soup. Actually, another way of thinking, if there is no creation of those authors, we would not be born. Boil Daegu into soup, will this make you feel better? Ordinary group leader, why do I feel that this is more unacceptable? Ordinary group leader, except for Meow Meow, me, Bai Xian and you. Do you think the others will be satisfied with their original fate? Boil Daegu into soup. Amount. Uchiha Madara was betrayed by his most trusted subordinate, Heijue. Not only is Whitebeard dead, but the Whitebeard pirates are gone too. Dongfang Bubi died because of love in the end. Namikaze Minato died after sealing Kyubi, his wife also died, and his son had a bad life since he was a child, not to mention Tokisaki Kurumi, who is still pursuing to kill the primordial spirit and change his own destiny. It doesn't seem to be quite as expected. Glory, who was released. Wow, woof, woof. Ordinary group leader, oh, I forgot about you. Ordinary group leader, this Shiba Inu is also excluded. The richest man in the lighthouse, although your way of comforting people is very special, I probably understand. The richest man in the lighthouse, so, the group owner of the Little Pepper is really fake. Ordinary group leader, ahem, although the video is fake, the reality is hard to say. Ordinary group leader, not everyone wants to be alone for a lifetime. Beacon's richest man. The richest man in the lighthouse, is there a full version? The richest man in the lighthouse, tell me the number. Even if the money is not enough, you can exchange it for gold and jewelry of equivalent value. It's not that I don't want to give others, but the role of wealth is the greatest. For example, gold, other jewelry, and diamonds may be worthless in another world, but gold will not be too valuable no matter which world it is in. Ordinary group leader, 2 eyes shine. JPG. Ordinary group owner, boring. JPG. Ordinary group leader, forget the money, I'm so weak now, it's over if I'm targeted. Ordinary group owner, why don't you make me an artificial intelligence similar to Jarvis? Ordinary group leader, the technology on my side has become very slow because of the aura. The existence of aura has caused inexplicable changes in many scientific formulas, so the technology has not increased or even regressed. Ordinary group owner, with Jarvis on the internet, I'm sure I'm invincible. Ordinary group leader, by the way, don't make Jarvis too honest. We still have a network here, and things like robbing the rich and giving to the poor are occasionally unavoidable, right? The richest man in the lighthouse, you can ask for this kind of demand directly. Do I seem to be such an honest person? Son of nature, give me one too, and I'll give you an aura ball. Son of nature, the physical fitness of ordinary people can be improved by about 2 times, which can make up for your weak body. The richest man in the lighthouse. The richest man in the lighthouse, I'm in good health, okay. If it wasn't for those few barking dogs that disturbed me today, she wouldn't even think about getting out of bed tomorrow afternoon. The richest man in the lighthouse, well, if you have anything else you want, let me know. By the way, send me a few more copies of that aura ball. The richest man in the lighthouse, don't get me wrong, it's not what I want, I don't need to use my physical fitness at all. I just think that Pepper has been working hard recently, and I want to reward her. Ordinary group leader. Ordinary group leader, do you think we will believe it? End of this chapter. Chapter 37. The strength of steel armor. Don't underestimate the power of technology. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Son of nature, then I will send you 5 copies. Son of nature, as for the reward, send me a copy after you make the steel armor. Son of nature, I don't need to load too many weapons, after all, I just use it for collection. The richest man in the lighthouse, okay. Tony Stark said indifferently. Ding, the group member, Son of Nature, sent an exclusive red envelope. Ding, the richest man in the group member Beacon received your red envelope. Son of Nature, I compressed the aura ball into a bead, and set up a protective film on the outside. If you want to use it, just eat it. Son of Nature, for ordinary people, eating one is almost enough, because it contains a lot of spiritual energy, and it takes a lot of time to digest it. Because aura is also a part of nature to a certain extent, he also has a certain control over aura, and it is not difficult for Bai Xian to condense them into aura balls or even compress them into aura beads. After all, he may trade with other group members in the future. Since it is a trade, he must naturally prepare the corresponding items. Spiritual energy beads are currently the easiest thing for him to take out. It is very effective for the current chat group members, whether it is to repair the body, prolong life or strengthen the physique, it can be done. The richest man in the lighthouse, okay. Ordinary group leader, you can compress spiritual energy into beads. This also requires a strong cultivation level in Xianxia novels, right? Ordinary group leader, this is the man-made version of Lingxia, that it is clear that Mingxuan's world has only recovered aura not long ago, yet they all possess such powerful power. Son of nature, Lingxia. Don't tell me I haven't noticed. In essence, all things are made of condensed aura, but the amount of aura is different from the amount of impurities. Son of nature, the spiritual energy beads I condense should only contain the spiritual energy itself, and there should be no impurities. If converted into spiritual stones, it is probably similar to the top-quality spiritual stones, but the amount of spiritual energy contained must not be as large as it. He used natural authority to condense and compress the spiritual energy, unless the essence of the impurity is also spiritual energy, otherwise it is impossible to appear in it. Ding, the group member, Son of Nature, sent 9 red envelopes. Son of Nature, at all members, there are 3 spirit beads in each red envelope. Son of Nature, although your strengths are different, the gentle power of aura will be more or less useful to you. Son of Nature, especially the group leader and Daegu, you two are the weakest, and the spiritual energy beads have the most powerful effect on you. Child of Nature, headache.jpg. Son of Nature, I suddenly remembered that the group leader is an aura insulator. Although I have set up a layer of film on the outside of the aura beads to ensure that you can absorb the aura to the greatest extent, it is difficult to guarantee the aura insulator. Son of Nature, there is also the aura I know should also have a warming effect on the soul. If it is so, you can also try Madara, it should be effective. The ordinary group leader, although I don't know if it will be useful, but when I become a boss in the future, I will definitely take care of you, by Xian. Ordinary group owner, moving.jpg. Ding, the group leader, the ordinary group leader robbed your red envelope. Boil Daegu into soup, add 1. Ding, the group members boiled Daegu into soup and robbed you of your red envelope. Worst elf, thank you. Ding, the worst elf in the group has robbed your red envelope. Be my son, ku la la la, the old man really appreciates you more and more, by Xian, are you interested in becoming the old man's son? Ding, the group members will be my sons and stole your red envelope. Uchiha Dance King, I will remember this love. Ding, group member Uchiha Dance King snatched your red envelope. Golden Flash, aura has a strong ability to warm and nourish the body, doesn't it? That should have a great effect on Kushina. Ding, the group member Golden Glitter snatched your red envelope. That's it. Meow, meow meow, Musashi, Kojiro, and I happen to be alone, meow. Ding, this is how the group members snatched your red envelope. Dongfang Booby, I owe a favor again. Ding, group member Dongfang Booby robbed your red envelope. The glory of the northern god, wow, woof, woof.jpg. Since then, all 9 red envelopes have been robbed. Boil Daegu into soup, every one of you said something before receiving the red envelope, and it's a bit embarrassing for me to say that I will add 1. Ordinary group owner, let me first post the things you are going to encounter recently. Ordinary group leader, you have to build the steel armor early. Ding, the group leader sent a memory copy. An hour later, Tony read all the memory copies of Iron Man 1, his eyes were full of complexity and astonishment, he never thought that he would be betrayed by Obadiah, who was regarded as his uncle. He had given enough trust to Obadiah, and even handed over most of the power of the Stark group to the other party. He also made a lot of money by selling weapons, even so, he was still not satisfied, and even wanted to kill himself to become the master of the Stark group. Haha, if I hadn't conceived the prototype of the steel armor in my mind at that time and successfully manufactured it, I'm afraid I would have died in the hands of those mercenaries. Worst elf, leave aside the plot, just look at the armor, it's just average. The worst elf, no wonder Bai Xian just wants to collect it instead of using it as a weapon. As far as the power shown in the plot, it is not as strong as those guys from AST. Well, it is almost the same, and they are all characters that can be easily solved. Be my son, it's similar to the technology of Jameson 66, but it's really too weak. Even if the old man doesn't add the shock fruit, it's hard to withstand a punch. Uchiha Dance King, useless external force. That's it. Meow. It's an interesting thing. Meow, but it's not interesting for catching elves. It can be modified and transformed. Meow. That's it. Meow, transform into a big robot. Meow. The richest man in the lighthouse. The richest man in the lighthouse. This is just the original steel mecha, of course it is weak. The richest man in the lighthouse, but as long as I optimize it a little and replace some parts and materials, its power will increase several times. The richest man in lighthouse, don't underestimate the power of technology, you guys. A cross popped out of Tony's head, and those of you in the comics don't feel pain in your back when you stand and talk. Is it the same level between cheating in anime and cheating in reality? End of this chapter. Chapter 38 Anti-Shiba Inu Thor's Armor. Don't think I don't know it's Susanoo if you are listening at novelfull.audio. I changed the color. Ordinary group owner, maybe they don't underestimate the power of technology, but underestimate your power. There is one thing to say, although the steel armor is very handsome, but the weak ones are really weak, and the strong ones will not show it because they encounter stronger ones. The anti-Hulk took off the armor and finally made a splash that time, but he was hit back again, later. I also lost the fight with the captain of the United States. Although I was merciful, if I lost, Thanos, not to mention, the richest man in the lighthouse. What the hell am I? The glory of the northern god. Hammer.jpg. The glory of the northern gods. Shiba Inu contempt.jpg. Glory of the northern god. Your mecha is not as strong as my hammer. The richest man in the lighthouse. The richest man in the lighthouse. The richest man in the lighthouse. It's okay for people, but even dogs come to despise me. The richest man in the lighthouse. Wait, my second set of armor is called Anti-Thor armor. The richest man in the lighthouse. I will use your hammer as a tool to replenish energy. After speaking, Tony Stark got off, and it seemed that Thor's ridicule really provoked his anger. Bai Xian also believes that Tony can make it, but it is not certain which Thor it is against. Is this what you told me, to be lenient? You're showing mercy. Show face, Bai Xian. Huiyu roared angrily at Bai Xian, and Bai Xian spread his hands out of helplessness. It was you who said you wanted to compete with me. And I can't hide my strength, and I can't go all out, and use up to, % of my strength. This form is at most, %, do you think this is showing mercy? He really only used a little bit of power, and he didn't use the power of, natural authority, because if he used the power of, natural authority, he wouldn't be able to tell what kind of power he was using, because those attacks could be used by the heart at will, as simple as breathing, an ability that goes deep into instinct. Therefore, he used another power, only that, because of his blood, he could only control it to that extent. You call this thing that is at least 100 meters high in front of you a mercy, right? Also, this is Susanoo from Hokage, right? Don't think I can't recognize you if you change the color. Huiyu pointed at the 100-meter-long golden giant that emerged from behind Bai Xian, and complained loudly. She is also a young man anyway. Of course I have seen some Hokage, and I am no stranger to Susanoo, so, don't think that if you change to a golden Susanoo that has not appeared in anime, I will not recognize her. Come out. Are you trying to kill me? Although I think that my talent is not inferior to others, but you are not among those people. Are you a human? Using this kind of thing to learn from each other, do you think I am Senju Juma or Uchiha Sasuke? What the hell is, % of your strength? If it's, % of your strength, what do you do if you go all out? Destroy the earth? Just when Huiyu was having fun complaining, Bai Xian suddenly spoke. Can't do it. Okay. I don't have the ability to destroy the planet for the time being. Bai Xian smiled, then changed his voice and said. But if you go all out, you might be able to clean the surface. After all, landslides, tsunamis, magma, earthquakes, these are all part of nature. Huiyu fell into silence, then looked at Bai Xian and sighed. I deeply suspect that the ultimate reason for the revival of the Earth's aura is not to allow creatures to evolve, but to allow you to evolve alone. Otherwise, why are you so perverted, making us look so weak? Although Bai Xian was joking, she deeply knew that the other party possessed such abilities. As he said, landslides, tsunamis, and earthquakes are all part of nature, and he who can use natural power can completely do it. The key is that he can do this now. How much can he do in the future? After all, nature contains more than these. Those human beings who have awakened their supernatural powers and mutant creatures that are evolving are also part of nature. Will Baishuan's power become stronger because of them later? At that time, the gap between them is estimated to be even bigger than it is now. Wait, why can you use Susanoo? Is this state condensed with some kind of power, or is it true that someone on Earth has awakened the ability of Susanoo? Could it be that group of islanders who live a good life? Will you suddenly realize the seriousness of this problem? Do you have the ability to awaken Kaleidoscope, Reincarnation I, Reincarnation I? Where is Yamada no Orochi? Forget it, Yamada no Orochi. I heard that it is Shangliu who has been beheaded and can't get along in China. Its supernatural beings probably can't even beat me now. Then did the things in our Huaxia novels awaken similar abilities? For example, some kind of special constitution or something. Bai Xian has been puzzled and speechless since the beginning, and now his head is full of black lines. Why do you think I know these things? Aren't your abilities natural? They are also something in nature. Why don't you know? You're right, and I can't argue with that. Want to try it? Logically speaking, it does seem possible. Wait, you better not try. Just when Bai Xian was about to try, Yu suddenly stopped her. I don't know why, at that moment just now, I felt like I was going to be seen. You'd better tell me about Susanoo. Do not know. Bai Xian shrugged and said casually, he can't say that besides awakening, natural authority, he also joined a chat group that can connect the heavens and worlds, right? Both Uchiha Madara and Whitebeard are my group friends. In the first lottery, you won Uchiha Obito's Kaleidoscope Sharingan. Because my own power changes the ability of the kaleidoscope, and by the way, even the color of Susanoo. There is no way to say it, and the chat group is not allowed to disclose it. You think I'm a fool? You looked at Bai Xian with the expression that you look at me like a fool. You must have imitated Susanoo from the anime to control the aura, right? After all, Reiki is similar to Senju chakra, both of which exist in nature. Although Susanoo needs some pupil power, the so-called pupil power is also chakra. Anyway, you want to imitate it easily. Or it's a counterfeit product condensed from other elements. It can't be the real Susanoo, right? Anime appeared in this world. You can't say that comics are drawn by humans, and animations are made by humans, so they are also part of nature. You can rely on supernatural powers to use the power in animation, right? End of this chapter. Chapter 39 Conceptualized, Natural Authority, Hangcheng Nature Reserve. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As he was talking, Huiyu's voice suddenly weakened, and he looked at Bai Xian who didn't respond at the moment with dazed eyes. You can't really do it, can you? Of course not. What are you thinking? Bai Xian said angrily, his ability is natural authority, rather than conceptual, natural authority. It's not like saying this is also natural and you can use it at will. He really regarded his natural authority as invincible. According to that statement, black holes are also a part of nature. Can he rub black holes with his hands? How is it possible? Bai Xian thought about this in his heart, and then remembered the phrase sometimes. You can also choose idealism in the template built for him by the chat group. I shouldn't be able to do it, right? Natural authority is only the authority of the earth. Even if it can be used outside the earth, it cannot be as powerful as it is on the earth. How can it be possible to do such a thing? Impossible. But why do I get that as if I could do it feeling? Chat group, the ability we awakened is just the result of the earth, and you just awakened the spiritual recovery, right? You didn't mix anything else in it, did you? Ding, the chat group does not use any power except to awaken the Earth's aura to recover. The group members' abilities are also the favor of the Earth's consciousness, and have nothing to do with the chat group. The chat group confirmed Bai Xian's thoughts, and Bai Xian also breathed a sigh of relief. Without the power of the chat group, then his natural authority is really just a pure, natural authority, such as conceptualizing the use of abilities in comics, or directly rubbing black holes with hands. Natural authority is simply impossible to arrive. It is still possible to rub the black hole with your hands. In the future, the Earth will become stronger due to the recovery of spiritual energy, and his natural authority may be able to be rubbed out after a higher level, but the manga is absolutely impossible. Ding, although the chat group did not use any power other than spiritual recovery, the ability, natural authority, of the group members is not the pure natural power that the group members think. Ding, remind the group members that the Earth is the most special existence in the heavens and worlds, so the power endowed by the Earth is also the most special power in the heavens and worlds. After the group members become gods, the ability of the host will also be truly displayed its power. After Bai Xian confirmed that his ability was simply endowed by the Earth, the cold mechanical voice of the chat group sounded in his ear again, and the content of it also made Bai Xian not know what to say. What does it mean that the Earth is the most special existence among the heavens and myriad worlds? What is the power bestowed by the Earth? Is it the most special power in the heavens and the world? What does it mean that after I become a god, natural authority can truly exert its power? So what are the abilities I use now? A drop in the bucket. With these few words in the chat group, Bai Xian really felt that he would be able to achieve conceptualization in the future, how to become a god after becoming a god. And what is your definition of God? Huiyu didn't know Bai Xian's complicated mood at this time. After hearing Bai Xian's words, he also patted his chest, and said happily, I almost really thought you could do this kind of thing. That's right, how can this kind of thing be done? That's entirely the ability to conceptualize. No matter how strong the recovery of spiritual energy is, it is impossible for people to awaken such a powerful ability, unless the Earth under our feet is not an ordinary planet. Maybe it is the most important fragmented star in the prehistoric world mentioned in the novel. Ancestral land. Only in this way can the recovery of spiritual energy become so special, thus awakening a monster like you. But fortunately, although your ability is still abnormal, it is not abnormal to that extent. Well, I still think your ability is too freaking abnormal. That why is there such a perverted to the extreme evildoer among human beings? Do you think you are Chao Ji? There is only one stone in the world, and you monopolize the 8 do. No, you're 90% 9. Ugh. Under Bai Xian's inexplicable gaze, Huiyu sighed, then shook his hands and said, Get ready, we will go to Hangcheng Nature Reserve in 3 days. A large-scale spiritual energy riot was detected there, and if there are no accidents, there should be an accident. I just don't know which animals have mutated. If you find a mutated creature, you should first check whether the other party is a gentle spirit beast similar to human nature in Xianxia novels, or a cruel beast in end-time novels. We will not do anything about the former for the time being, just observe and observe. Anyway, that area they are also isolated, so don't worry about hurting anyone. The latter is up to you. You can kill and eat meat. I heard that the meat of the beast nourished by the spiritual energy is delicious and can strengthen the body. I don't know if it is true. Suck it. Subconsciously, Huiyu swallowed her saliva, her face turned red when she realized it, and then she coughed twice and said softly. When the time comes, you can just cut off 2 legs and come back. Anyway, those scientific research guys just need some cells for research, just save some for them. Do you know how to cut 2 legs of a creature? Make more kinds and see which one is delicious. Bai Xian was speechless when he heard Huiyu's words. Can't you cut it yourself? I have something to do, so I can't go, and if I cut it, I will be scolded. Huiyu shook his head, then said depressedly. You are different. The superiors treat you like a treasure, let alone 2 legs. Even if you only leave them a piece of meat, they will accept it with a smile. Hey, it's clear that Long Zhan and I were valued at the beginning, and they were both members of the first batch. As a result, as soon as your information went up, we were simply lowered to a lower level. the key is that we refuse to accept it. Forget it, don't talk about this, the more you talk, the more angry you get. Besides you, Su Yu is here this time. Yishuru and Chen Chang have arranged another mission. Anyway, you don't need Yishuru's healing ability. Su Yu, watch for yourself. She doesn't have much combat experience. This time, she will gain a lot of experience. At least don't be afraid to deal with mutant creatures in the future. If she wants to go up and fight, that's fine, anyway, she can't die with you around. After all, Bai Xian can also use the healing ability by relying on natural authority. The effect is several times better than that of Yishuru. As long as he is not directly dead, he can be revived. Does the soul count as part of nature? If people count, the soul should also count, right? If it counts, can Bai Xian control the soul of the other party after death, even reinstall the other party's soul on the body? End of this chapter. Chapter 40 The Scarlet Giant Tiger, I hope your flesh will not let me down. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hiss, Hui Yu patted himself on the head. Is it the underworld to take care of things like the soul? What does it have to do with nature? She was really frightened by Bai Xian's ability. In other words, the underworld should have nothing to do with nature. I see. Bai Xian nodded. Although Su Yu is an ice-type supernatural user and has a relatively high and cold temperament, her own personality belongs to the kind of weak and introverted. Apart from being more lively in front of acquaintances, she basically just not saying a word. If you want to display your combat effectiveness in future wars, you really need to grow up. Although the flowers growing in the greenhouse are beautiful, they can hardly withstand the baptism of wind and rain. If Su Yu wants to grow up, she must accept the baptism of killing and blood. As for Bai Xian, although he has never experienced it, is it important to him who has natural authority? Anyway, it's a spike. The only thing to overcome is the fear of blood and killing. To be honest, this aspect is quite easy, and you will get used to it after seeing it a lot. As Hui Yu said, he is a monster that has surpassed all living things since its birth, and the gap between him and other people will only become wider and wider until he can't even see his back. 3 days passed in a flash, and now Bai Xian and Su Yu were on their way to the nature reserve. After joining the Reiki Bureau, apart from those few meetings, you basically trained in the villa, that wearing a tracksuit with a layer of specially made body armor inside. Su Yu looked at Bai Xian in shock. Yeah, isn't that a very normal thing? Bai Xian tilted his head, not feeling that there was anything wrong with what he did. Shouldn't normal people choose to touch fish? And won't you be tired? I'm exhausted after exercising for an hour. A bitter expression appeared on Su Yu's face. I am special. Bai Xian smiled and didn't explain much. Although his strength will continue to rise as time goes by, why not do so since he can speed up the speed of becoming stronger, and that would be too boring. Furthermore, although his natural authority is powerful and terrifying, and he himself is the most lucky person on earth, who knows if there are other people who have awakened a certain authority. Perhaps his authority is not as strong as natural authority, but since they are both authorities, even if Bai Xian is stronger, his strength is limited. If the opponent works harder than Bai Xian, he may not be defeated by the opponent one day. He remembered what the chat group said at the time, that the consciousness of the earth divides the authority of the world and gives it to all creatures on the earth, which means that the authority divided by the earth is not just natural authority, so this possibility exists. But Bai Xian didn't know that the authority distributed by the earth is basically divided into countless parts to transform into the ability of all living things. No one is qualified to hold a single authority, only Bai Xian holds the complete, natural authority, because Bai Xian is special. For the earth, he is the most special existence. Finally, the two arrived at the Hangzhou Nature Reserve, which was one of the best scenic spots in Hangzhou before the spiritual energy recovered. After the spiritual energy recovered, it looked fresh and beautiful after being washed by the spiritual energy. The aura here is much more than that in the city. Is the amount of aura related to the number of plants? Bai Xian looked at the lush forest protection area in front of him, and said with great interest. Perhaps, isn't it the same in novels? There will always be more aura in the mountains than in the cities. Su Yu looked at the surrounding trees curiously. and said casually. Gone. Bai Xian nodded, and after saying a word, he strode forward. Seeing this, Su Yu quickly followed. It's okay for two people, but she wouldn't dare to let her here alone. Time passed slowly, and the two gradually deepened. Found it. Follow. Suddenly, a smile appeared on Bai Xian's face, and then he walked in one direction, while Su Yu was bewildered and just followed Bai Xian passively. What did you find? How did you find it? Why didn't she find anything? It didn't take long. Roar! A violent roar suddenly came not far from the two of them. Far away, the two of them saw a huge tiger. Unlike the orange color of traditional tigers, this tiger is red like a flame. The original king character on the forehead was also replaced by a red fire lotus. Old tiger, Su Yu couldn't help but took a step back, looking at the giant tiger in front of her in panic. Why are there tigers here? No, this is a nature reserve, and it is only natural that there are tigers there, but this is a tiger. Even if they awaken their abilities, they are not opponents, right? And looking at the color, it's obviously awakened ability. In addition, the physique of the beast itself is far superior to that of a human being, so it is impossible to fight at all. So this mission is so dangerous. Why did we send the two of us here? Su Yu wanted to cry at this moment, but it was completely different from what she had imagined. Do you want to go up and play? Don't worry, I can save you as long as you don't die. Seeing Su Yu's panicked appearance, Bai Xian said with a light smile. No, stop joking. Should we run away? This is a tiger. And it's a tiger with awakened abilities. We'll be eaten by it. Su Yu shook her head again and again, and said in a low voice. Escape? Not at all. For you, it's really early to fight it. Then this time, leave it to me. Bai Xian shook his head, looked at the red giant tiger, and the other party seemed to notice Bai Xian's eyes. The hair on his body stood up, and the beast's eyes shrunk, as if he was being stared at by some terrifying existence. Then, its eyes turned directly to Bai Xian and the two, with a hint of scarlet in the animal pupils. Okay, Bai Xian noticed the scarlet in the eyes of the giant red tiger, and frowned slightly. At that moment, the giant tiger had the intention to kill them. It's a little strange, the mood changes too fast. According to the habits of tigers, even for prey, they should not directly have the intention to kill. However, since you have the intention to kill, it is natural to deal with it as a ferocious beast. I hope your meat quality will not disappoint me. Saying this, several spears composed of gold elements condensed in front of Bai Xian, and there were faint arcs of lightning flashing on the spears. Boom! In an instant, the spear in front of Bai Xian cut through the space and went straight to the giant red tiger. Roar! With a huge roar, the fire lotus on the forehead of the red giant tiger emitted a faint light, and then its whole body burst into fiery flames. Not only that. These hot flames also condensed a thick layer of defensive armor on its body, and then the majestic beast's face was full of arrogance, waiting for those attacks from Bai Xian to come. End of this chapter.